Okay, so kind of like an interesting shift of mentality towards study, and I think an encouraging one. It's daunting but encouraging. What I'm realizing may be effective in improving this learning journey is to, rather than have that rigid study kind of program, is to instead simply be driven by yourself, driven by your own mind, and all your accountability coming from your own mind, right? Like just have altering the way you think, state of mind around studying art, to where it simply becomes something that is something you're always thinking about, something that's always on top of your mind. And while that may not be the most may not be the healthiest thing in the long run, it will definitely be effective, right? Because if your mind's only on studying and only on getting better and the next thing, and the thing you got wrong in your last painting that you can improve on, and you looking for reference and all, and they'll apply to that weakness directly, and then you studying that weakness, and then you go on like that. That whole way of approaching study is one that requires much more brain power, because your mind always needs to be on it. Do you know what I mean? It always needs to be thinking about the next thing you're going to improve at, the next thing you're going to try out, experiment with. And that, I think, is the main difference between the life of a career-oriented person, i.e. someone who has a career, and someone that simply has a job that they do and get paid for and use that to pay the bills. And that comes with the kind of question of, okay, what actually brings happiness? Will my job bring happiness? And kind of what is the purpose of my life, right? Like, what was I put on this earth to do? And right now, I think I'm kind of split. I know that I'm going to be a concept artist. I know that I love concept art. I know that it's something I want to do for the rest of my life. But it can still fall into either of those two categories that I just laid out, while still falling into those parameters. Like, it can be either one of those things for me. It can be my career, which I kind of devote a lot of my life to, or it can be a job which puts food on the table. I mean, if it's a career, then it's a job as well. Like, it being a job is also part of it being a career, but it can be a job without it being a career, if that makes sense. I could just be chatting shit right now, but I might also be spitting facts, so yeah. And I think I need to make that choice at some point. I need to make the choice of whether it's a career or a job, and if it's a career, then I have to kind of give in to the fact that I'm never going to be completely satisfied, and that I will always have something that I'm working towards, right? And if it's a job, then it'll just be something that I do to put food on the table. I can still love it, I can still enjoy it for what it is, but there's less kind of passion behind it, if that makes sense. So I think I've kind of answered my own question on which one I want to do. I want to devote more of my life balance than some people might recommend. Because the main reason I'm not is because I've been striving for a very and I mean, to be honest, there's a third kind of factor, which I only see people who are very wise and content doing, like a third method. Whether those people are wise and content because of this life they chose, or they chose this life due to them being wiser. Either way, it's a life approach that kind of revolves around balance. And you know, a lot of people follow that without even realizing that it's a balanced life to live, but they can still reach very high levels in their job/career while still maintaining a very balanced rest of their life, if that makes sense. I'm thinking that, I mean, that's like everything in life kind of always comes back to striving for balance for me. I think that's always a very sensible thing to strive for, is balance. If you're too soft of a person, too nice, too agreeable, too amicable, then you need to balance yourself out by becoming more aggressive, more dominant, more assertive. If you're too, and vice versa, if you're too much of a slack worker, someone who doesn't work enough, doesn't put enough hours in, God, I'm yawning a lot. Someone who doesn't put enough hours in, that kind of thing. But then also has a lot of time for rest and relaxation. Then you should balance yourself out by putting more hours of work in and becoming a more industrious, strict, enthusiastic person, right? And maybe this balance approach is something that, I mean, realistically, I know that balance is going to be the answer. Everything always kind of returns to balance in the end. So yeah, balance, that's the plan. Be more balanced. Yeah, thanks. Have a good day. Bye.